Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Michael Heslop's Review. Alright guys, so I first want to thank each and every one of you for now reaching 715 subscribers guys. As you know, the last video we were at 707, so I'm glad that 8 persons have joined the group of this amazing journey with me and my new YouTube channel guys. All right, so today, as you know, guys, we'll be talking about the Donald Trump's new tariff and the consequences, the potential consequences that they might have for the US economy. All right, so as you know, I don't live in the United States of America, but I do have many family members that and relatives as well that live there. So, and also most of my subscribers are from the United States. Apparently 95% of them are from the United States of America. So many of you guys that are watching me daily are living in the United States of America. So I thought it would be an amazing thing for me to do to just outline some of the potential challenges that you could face basically with these new tariffs. All right, so I am reading off of something right here because I just want to make sure that I have factual information that I'm actually presenting on this. So from time to time, you might see me look down on my iPad just to get some full understanding to give you guys the best and precise information that I possibly can. So tariffs are basically charges that basically a government puts on particular countries basically for basically imports or exports into that countries basically. So Donald Trump is basically putting tariffs on 3 countries, well, reportedly 3 countries. These countries are Mexico, China, and also Canada, which is the neighbor of the United States of America. So that's pretty surprising. Tariffs do come with consequences, but they are also come with benefits also. So they're not potentially just bad things. So it's not like, oh, he's presenting tariffs, he's just doing bad stuff, because there are potential benefits for tariffs and there are negative consequences also for tariffs. So these tariffs, I think he's saying that there's 25% on different stuffs. And so China is one of the first ones that he's basically imposing these tariffs on. Now, as you know, China is a global manufacturer basically for most goods and services, that most of the clothes that we wear, most of the stuff that comes from the manufacturing industry is from China basically. So a lot of you may be wondering, about my Shein order, my Temu order, and basically these companies that are Chinese affiliated companies, what are the potential impacts that they may have on them and so forth with Donald Trump's new policy. All right, so I'm just gonna read what ChatGPT basically is presenting on this. So it says, as of 2025, there have been no specifically new tariff imposed by the Donald Trump administration. However, discussion about trade policies and tariffs continue, particularly regarding China and other trade partners. In his reinstatement, if he becomes president. So you know that he is now president of America. And so the new ChatGPT report says, as of 2025, the potential impacts of Donald Trump's tariff would likely involve various economy sectors, particularly manufacturing and agriculture. Tariff could lead to increased prices for consumers and business reliant on important goods. So a lot of you guys, China does give a lot of production to America, also Canada, also Mexico. So what companies in America that rely on these countries for goods and services that they need to for their manufacturing production basically, if they impose these new tariff on these countries, then the countries basically will raise the prices basically, and this could raise the prices for manufacturing goods in America. Now, what most companies normally do in this case, well, there's 2 things that they could potentially do in this case. One is that they could absorb the prices that are being raised, which almost never happens. And the other is basically to put the prices up, and basically the prices of manufactured goods basically goes up in the United States of America. So you might see a lot of the goods and services that you normally get, which are imported from China, go up. So a lot of goods that you guys use on a regular basis basically could go up. You could see the prices of items on Shein and Temu go up. Basically, prices of raw materials go up. So this could have a potential major hit for you guys in America who purchase goods and services. Some employers may lay off staff because, especially if they feel that they don't need a lot of staff to do certain things, and just levy the cost basically just to try to make sure that they're not in get they're trying to offset some of the costs that they're actually getting. So this could have potential and major impacts for people's jobs, for people who are purchasing goods and services, and so forth. But um, what it does sometimes, it does force companies basically to try to source these items from other countries where the tariffs are not imposed. So you could see that maybe if they could get these products from other countries that Donald Trump has not imposed these tariffs on, um, to get it cheaper basically, but the quality might not be as good as in this case. So it could have some very major potential consequences for America basically, and how the country grows and the potential economy, and also the stock market as well. As you guys know, with Trump in, the stock market sometimes can be very crazy place basically with him in. So also, let me just read here. So here are some of the things that basically could happen with Trump's new tariff that he's planning to impose, right? So one, consumer prices. Consumers could see an increase. Tariff often lead to higher prices for imported goods, which can raise costs for consumers and businesses. So as I just stated before, basically, that's one of the impacts that tariffs can have. You could see the goods and services that you guys use on a daily basis just basically go up through the roof. And if your pay is not going up, and these items and goods and services that you use on a regular basis basically is going up, that could have significant impacts on your pockets. It could see employers basically laying off staff because they basically just can't afford the cost of production and actually paying employees. So you could see major job losses in certain sectors where basically one person is doing three persons jobs, as we've seen in the past sometimes with some of these companies. Also, domestic industries. So tariff may protect certain domestic industries by reducing foreign competition, potentially leading to growth in those job sectors. So sometimes with tariffs, basically, as you say, it might protect certain domestic industries. So basically, some companies in America that produces goods that are often imported, you could see these companies reaching out to some of these companies inside America, growing their business potentially, because they're trying to, instead of importing, basically getting these products from inside America as well, which could boost the profitability of some of these companies. So that's why I say that tariffs are not completely a bad thing. It does have its benefits for some persons, and it does have its disadvantages for some. But it is basically the wider issue. Is it a big thing for persons inside, or is it a major thing? So it's who it basically impacts most of all, which is the consumers basically. Also, trade relationships. So tariff can strain relationship with trading partners, possibly leading to retaliatory tariffs and affecting exports. So as you see with Canada, they're saying that if Trump raised the tariffs, basically they're imposing their new tariffs as well. So these can cause retaliation basically with the countries that the tariffs were sanctioned on. Basically, they could also raise their tariffs, which would see goods and services that Americans import from these countries as well go up basically. So that you could actually see. So, and that can also cause problems as well. What some countries do with the tariffs are raised, I'm not sure if that's what America will do, is that they basically source it from elsewhere, from other countries that also produce the same thing as well. So we don't know if that's what the Trump administration is planning, but we await to see. Basically, as we say, this is just a new statement basically made from him, so we're not yet sure of how the impacts as yet. Basically, he's just been in for 1 month, so we're not sure how these things will impact and what will he do when this impact starts. All right, economic growth. So it says while some sectors may benefit, overall economic growth could be hampered if increased costs lead to reduced consumer spending. Right. So as you know, guys, basically, if items are going up and people's pays are not going up, basically, people could start spending less because they try to reserve what they have. So persons might say that because they're not earning much money and the price of these things are going up, they might sometimes not use them if they can, or just try to cut down on the amount that they actually use on a day-to-day basis, which cause them to not spend as much because they're trying to conserve, because the items are expensive and they just basically want to make sure that they're not overspending or just basically trying to live within their means, which could cause people to basically spend less, and that could cause reduced spending in the economy, and that also can hamper the economy. When less spending happens in a particular country, basically that hampers the economic growth of that company, because money is not being fluently spent across all sectors and boards, basically, and that can cause issues as well. So as I said, we're not sure if that will happen just yet. We're not sure of the impacts, because we're not seeing it right now, because it's just been 1 month since these things have been said and so forth. So we're not seeing how these will go. As you know, Trump has also tried to cut all spending or funding, basically, of US aid, so to other countries. I think a judge has imposed a pause on it. A pause doesn't mean that a pause doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just that means that it just stopped it for a period of time, and I'm not sure if he's going to be retracting that or he's just going to be pushing that motion same way. So that's what he has stated. Basically, the US aid funding has been halted, and that could have impacts for countries such as Haiti that relies tremendously on the US aid. So we are not sure yet what this imposing could do. We hope that, the best outcome does happen in this case. All right, supply chain. That's the next one. So companies reliant on global supply chain may face disruption and higher costs, prompting them to reevaluate sourcing strategies. As we spoke about that, basically, some companies, as you say, when the cost for things that they import goes up, they try to source it from other places. So if I used to buy from you and the price that I have to pay goes up, I will try to just basically try to source it from somebody else, which is way cheaper, which would cause me to spend less money and basically earn a higher profit. So these are just the basics, 5 that I call them, that could affect the US economy and just basically the US on a hold, where these new tariffs that Donald Trump is imposing. As I said, basically, guys, tariffs can have their impacts and they can be beneficial as well. The major thing is that tariffs overall cause more damage than good, but some persons benefit when tariffs comes in, some persons don't. It's just trying to understand what the disadvantages are, and trying to find new ways, basically, to try to live within these new tariffs if they become imposed. All right, so guys, as I said before, I'll be doing a lot more reviews, basically, on these things. And because I do understand that most of my subscribers are from the United States of America, so I'm trying to do videos, basically, that will help you guys through 2025. As you know, we're living in some interesting times, I would say that, and I'm sure that many of you just basically want to get an understanding of what is going on. And